Hello, hello. Welcome to another Thursday Talk. So, if you ever have trouble letting go of items because of the memories involved or because of sentimental feelings and emotions, this is the part of our series for you. We are in part 4 of our Charity and Love Declutter Decision Making Questions series. And today we're talking about charity and love. So these questions focus around all of that charity and love emotional stuff, and including love for ourselves as well as our family and others. So these are the questions for you. Now, as you hop on, if you've not caught parts 1 through 3, they are over on the YouTube channel. So you can always check them out there. As you hop on, let me know who you are, where you're joining me from, because of course I always love to hear that as well. And let me know, have you caught the rest of the series, or is this your first video that you're watching with me? So as you know, this is, like I said, part 4. So parts 1 through 3 are over on the YouTube channel. All right, let's dive into some of the really fun, good, like freebie stuff that I've got for you today. First off, I wanted to say hi over on YouTube. You got this in a virtual hug. Thank you so much. Good morning, Diane and Maggie and Marcia. It's great to see you all. Maria's watching for the first time today. Welcome, Maria. I'm so glad to have you. Cheryl, Teresa, Liz. I won't say hi to everybody, but I'm so excited to have each and every one of you here. That is awesome. Oh, yay. Jane says that she has been to all of the different parts of the series and she ordered her small step cards today, which, yes, those actually started pre-ordering for the first time this morning at 6 a.m. So if you got the email, then you got a chance to order those already. Yay. Welcome, Linda. She's watched all the parts. And yep, I see a bunch of people. Welcome, Trudy is the first time that she's here. Hi, Cindy. Great. Oh, it's so good to see all of your beautiful faces. So like I said, today is about charity and love questions to help declutter your home. And we are focusing on all of those emotional questions. Now, to start you off, let me give you something for free. And that is over at our download link for this week only. Right now, I'm not sure that these are connected. So when you go over to this link, they might not be available right this moment. They will be before noon Eastern time today, if they're not already. But I have Declutter question cards, a free download for you. So it's going to come like this. You can download the PDF, and they will be cards that you can cut out based on each part of the series. So you can follow along with the series with your own cards that you can cut out. When you cut them out, they look like this, basically. So these are some of today's questions. And what I like to do, if there's a specific question that you're working on, trying to incorporate more often, tape it to your wall while you organize, or on your desk, or wherever it's visible, maybe your bathroom mirror, until that question becomes more natural for you to just automatically ask. Because the more you see the question, the more you will remember to start thinking about it that way. So that's why they're pretty basic, nice and big, so that way you can put them in your work area and remind yourself about the questions. So that is this week's freebie. Like I mentioned, it might not be connected quite yet to that link, but it will by noon, so within the hour. And then it will be available until the beginning, like a little bit before the beginning of the next Thursday talk. So any of the downloads that we have are only available for that limited portion of time. All right. So, hey, Suzanne is here. Welcome. And oh, yay, Liz got her Spark Life Binder. Yay. I hope you love it. If you need anything, you know right where to find me. That's awesome. So many people. Love, love, love it. All right. The other thing I did want to tell you really fastly before we dive into the questions, fastly, I don't think that's a word, really quickly, really fast. Before we dive in, Jane mentioned she already grabbed her small step cards. So pre-orders start today. They started this morning for the small step organizing cards. If you've loved these questions with the question series to help you declutter, then these cards are going to be right up your alley. So it's a set of 100 cards. It's hard to see because they're slightly glossy, but not super glossy. But each card has a quick task. So you can pull a card a day. let's try to, there we go. You can pull a card a day, and each day you'll have a small declutter task that usually takes like 5 minutes or less, and you can keep reusing the cards. So it'll be a deck of 100. These are not all 100. That would be too thin. But it'll be a full deck of 100 cards, and they will ship out the beginning of March. But if you pre-order them right now, before they've even gotten packaged up, I only have a limited quantity as well. So once that quantity is out, then there won't be any more pre-order available. But for this week only, until Thursday the 17th, you can also, when you pre-order your cards, you'll get this home maintenance list pack. So this is a download where it's got all sorts of checklists. It has, deep cleaning checklists, regular home maintenance checklists, things that you just need to do to keep your home safe and working right throughout the year, vehicle service list, service provider contact sheet, supply lists, so many lists. So it's this big, thick packet that you can download full of lists. And this is free only while supplies last of the small step cards. I only have 500 sets for this first run of these small step cards. So when you pre-order them before Thursday the 17th, end of the day, or until supplies run out, then you can get that free bonus download, and you'll get the download immediately, and the cards will ship out in March. And this is only to the US right now. Sadly, we can only ship to the US this first run. But okay, that is enough of that, right? And I'll share that again later. There's also a link to both that and our declutter card download in the description if you need it. All right. I am just reading through the comments. Oh, yay, somebody ordered their small step cards. That's awesome. Eloise says hello to everyone. And Lori's here from sunny and cold Cleveland. Oh, I love it when it's sunny and cold. That's beautiful. Welcome, welcome. Cindy says, what's on the cards? On the cards, they're just little tasks. So it might be, find 3 expired or no longer needed medications to let go of, or, check to see if you can find 1 pair of shoes that you no longer wear to let go of, things like that. So it's just a quick declutter task that you can do over and over and over. Welcome, Dorothy. Dorothy's here. She's seen the whole series so far. Oh, Kathy says, the cards are a great idea. I'm going to send a pack to my mom who needs to declutter in baby steps. It's so much easier in baby steps, right? Just like these declutter questions, when we break it down into small steps, then we aren't putting it off waiting for a day when we have more time, because we always think that decluttering needs to be a massive project, and it doesn't. Decluttering can happen every single day throughout the day, which is part of why these questions are great, because as you're looking at things throughout the day, you can have just a small donation bin in your home. And as you find things, asking yourself the questions or using the small step cards, as you find things throughout the day that you no longer need, just throw them in your donation bin. And when it gets full, it gets donated. Simple enough. But decluttering does not need to be a project. It should be just an ongoing thing as you see things. Yay, Marcia grabbed her cards. And yes, Cindy says, baby steps are easier. Absolutely. So let's hop into some question baby steps. Sound good? Charity and love. Now this one has a lot of questions that I'm going to share with you today. I have 6 of them for you. So let's dive in. The first question that you've probably heard before, but it's one that we really forget to ask, especially when it's clothing or something like that. Do I feel good using or wearing this? So when you look at the item, really think about, do you feel good? We'll use clothing as an example because that's a great example for this question. But do you feel good in it, right? Is it comfortable? Do you feel like you either look your best, or do you just feel cozy in it? Does it bring good memories? Or is it maybe a little bit uncomfortable? Maybe it's in great condition and you wish that you could wear it, but you always put off wearing it because it's one of those things that, it might be a little riskier than you would be normally, like have a crazier pattern than you would like, or maybe a lower cut back. Maybe you don't have something that goes with it. So really think when you're looking at things, such as I've got on my sunshine shirt. These are some of my favorites because they're comfortable and I really like them because, I love my positive sayings and all those happy things. So for me, I do feel good using or wearing it. It's comfortable and I really enjoy the message that it has. But I just let go of another sweatshirt that I used to love, and it used to be my favorite, my go-to. It was so cozy, but it's been washed too many times. And now it's starting to get a little on the itchy side. So I realized last time I put it on, I don't feel that good using or wearing it anymore. So it was time to go. So that's a good question. Do I even feel good using or wearing it? And if not, then don't keep something you don't feel good in unless you absolutely have to. Of course, there are times, where maybe you have the one formal dress and it's the only one you've got, then that would be a keep. But in general, if you don't feel good using or wearing it, ditch it. Number 2, how could this benefit someone else? When you look at your items, a lot of times we are afraid of being wasteful, or we just kind of think we already spent the money, might as well keep it. But if you start to look at your items with that charity mindset, if that's something that resonates with you, everybody's got different motivators. If charity and helping others is one of your motivators, then this is a really good question for you. When you look at items, think, would this possibly benefit somebody else more than me? Because if you're holding on to something and you're not really using it, but it could benefit somebody else, then you're kind of depriving other people from being able to use that item. So an example might be, maybe I have a set of knives, and really I've got my top, 4 knives that I use. And other than that, I'm not really using them. But possibly somebody who's setting up their house again after a tragedy or restarting for some reason, or somebody who might not be able to afford very nice things right now, maybe they could really use a nice set of knives. So all of those excess, maybe somebody else could benefit from them more, because I only use them once in a great while and I have something else that will work just fine, but maybe somebody else does not even have what I have. So how could this benefit someone else? When you look at items, then that can actually help you let go of things, picturing, and feel free to picture it in your mind, picturing somebody else getting some use out of that item instead. So that's a really good one as well. Now, remember, if you're enjoying any of these, whenever you hear a question that you like, that resonates with you, do me a favor and hit the like or the heart, or comment that you like it in the comments, any of those types of things, so I know which questions you really like. All right. I absolutely love getting that feedback. And if you have any questions as we go, feel free, use the comments. This is a chat. It's not necessarily me talking at you. So I would love to hear your thoughts and hear your questions. Okay. Question number 3. And this is kind of a tough one. Is this truly a special item? Is this truly a special item? There are so many times that we keep things, and we keep things that might not actually be as special as we build them up to be in our heads. So for example, maybe a seashell that I found on the beach during one of our family beach days. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I enjoy it for a while, but is it truly a special item? Well, probably not, because I don't remember what beach day. There's no specific memory attached to it. It's not memorabilia where it's got a long history. So those are the types of things where when we're looking at them, maybe it's not as special as we're thinking it is. So be realistic about how special the item is. Is this truly a special item? Can work with just about anything. Maybe you're holding on to some greeting cards and you have every greeting card that people give you. Not all greeting cards are all that special. Some of them you're meant to get the message and then let it go, versus certain cards that you would want to keep long term. So is this truly a special item? Lori asks, are these questions the ones that are part of the card set? So these questions are not part of the small steps cards. The small step cards, these are declutter tasks. So they break decluttering down into small steps. I can pull out some examples for you. These are from our sample pack that we started with. Find 5 things in your pantry you won't really use before they expire. That would be what's in the small step cards. So these are going to tell you little tasks to do to declutter throughout the day, and help you that's my note card, help you not even have to think about things to do. They're going to give you little tiny bite-sized tasks, find 5 things that are out of place and put them away. So there's going to be 100 little bite-sized tasks. Now these questions are in the download for this week. So in the description, you'll find the Thursday Talk download, and it's just a download. You can cut these out for yourself. Hopefully that clarifies. I know I launched the small step cards at the same time as I'm doing questions that have a card download, and I just made it confusing for everybody, and I'm sorry. Susan says, aha, I was battling with the knife drawer yesterday. There's a place in town that serves folks setting up home for the first time. Perfect. Yay! Yes, I donate a lot of household goods to a place that helps people recover after tragedies or rebuild. And it's such a nice thing to be able to do, because I remember when I was starting out, and to have a nice set of knives would have blown my mind. That's awesome. Oh, welcome, welcome. Good to have you. Lori says, how can I get all the questions that were part of each session in the series? It's going to be in the downloads in the description. So check the description, and the link will look like that. It has, the Declutter questions card download. So check that out in the description. I'll put that up again at the end of this session, so that way you can find the link easily. Hopefully that helps. Someone says, oh, I'm late, but I'm finally here. Lynn. Oh, Lynn is here from the South. Welcome. Cindy, I stopped receiving all of the incoming chat. I'm not sure why you stopped receiving all of it, but I do know that we have chat coming in from all the different areas, which is why I read it out loud and I put it on the screen. So hopefully you can just check out the screen and listen, and I'll read it out loud because we have various Facebook places and YouTube and everything. So the chats are coming in from all areas. You might not see all of it in the chat though. All right, so we covered do I feel good using or wearing this, right? If we don't feel good wearing it, or if it's something that's too clunky and not fun to use, that might be a sign it's time to just let it go, because we deserve good stuff, right? How could this benefit someone else? So when we're looking at things, maybe we don't really need it that much, but somebody else could benefit from it so much more. So when you're looking at things, think about, could somebody else use this more than I'm using it? And then we talked about, is this truly a special item? So a lot of those greeting cards that we might hold on to, or the seashell picked up randomly at the beach, or all of those types of things that we kind of pick up, but they might not actually be as special as we feel like they are. So question number 4, do I need the item or just the memory? Do I need the item or just the memory? Now, this is a tough one a lot of times, but this is one that helps so much, especially with things like memorabilia. So when you are looking at your items, think about whether it's the item itself that is important or the memory. So for example, actually, I probably have an item right here. Okay, I have 2 items right here. These will both fulfill the purpose of an explanation. So in one hand, I am holding a little crocheted coaster that my not old assistant, she's not old, my former assistant, Ruth, made. She handmade this snowflake coaster for me. And then in my other hand, I'm holding this watercolor quote that I painted during a painting session with my friend Rochelle. So both of these items would be memorabilia and kind of special items, right? But both of these are not the same. So for me, and everybody's different, but for me, with these 2 items, the coaster, the crocheted coaster, the item itself to me is just as important as the memory of Ruth giving it to me. I absolutely love using this item. When I see this item, I think of Ruth, and it's the item itself that I absolutely love. Not just the memory, because Ruth has given me some really cool stuff, but the item itself I think is so special, the fact that she took the time to do that. Now, when I look at the quote that I watercolored, the quote says, whatever I do today is enough. It's a really great saying. A lot of times I need to see it to remember, but it is not the quote that's watercolored itself that is as important to me. Really, the most important part about this watercolor quote is remembering the time when I did it with Rochelle. So between the 2 of them, the coaster, I would absolutely keep. The quote, it's still relatively new. I'll keep it for a tiny bit longer, but not too long from now, I will probably just take a picture of it and then let go of the physical painted quote. And that way I still have the memory because I have the picture. So that will spark the memory of doing this really fun event with Rochelle. And I can still enjoy the quote with the photo, but I don't need the physical item itself any longer. So with the quote, I only need the memory. With the coaster, I actually want the item as well. Now this works so well with especially things that are from loved ones who have passed. Sometimes it's just the memory that you have of the item, but it's not the item itself that's important. So sometimes just taking a picture of things like, grandma's old Pyrex. And I know right now, I think Pyrex is super expensive and those sell really well. So if you don't need the Pyrex itself, maybe take a picture and then sell it to a collector who can value the Pyrex itself and you still have the memory. So do I need the item or just the memory can really help let go of some of those things that seem to be special items, but really it's just the items are triggering memories. All right, so let's see some more of these questions really quickly. Hello from Ohio. We've got someone from Ohio. Okay, Vicky, yeah, she mentioned that the download link only has the note sheets. Yes, right now, around noon, by noon, I should have those updated. But I mentioned, at the beginning, you probably didn't catch it at the beginning, but right now that link might not go to these question sheets, but it will today before noon, just because I ran out of runway. But yeah, so check that link again before noon. Someone said, went to the donation center on Tuesday, my eBay seller on Wednesday. Yay, that is fantastic. Oh, that feels so good, doesn't it? Just decluttering and letting go and getting things moving out helps so much. Welcome. Someone says, hi, all the cards look great. Oh, good. Yes, I'm so excited about the pre-order starting. I've already got a number of orders, so super excited. Oh, yay, someone used their medical folder from the Spark Life Binder yesterday at her doctor's appointment. Fantastic. Hopefully that made it super easy. I know it usually does for me. Nancy says, when I first discovered stuff from my mom's house, I got warm fuzzies. But after having it for a while, it becomes just a thing, like the sugar bowl we used when I was a kid. Exactly. And that fits in perfectly. Do I need the item or just the memory? The sugar bowl from your childhood? That might just be the memory and you could take a picture and let it go. There's so many things. And a lot of times it goes in layers, especially with memories of somebody who's no longer here. So on my YouTube channel, there's an Organizing After Loss Grief series where I talk about this, but really quickly, sometimes we will keep all the things because we want to hold on and we miss the person and it's very hard to let go, and that's normal. But as you live with these things and as your grief morphs, it doesn't go away, it just morphs into something different, then that's when you can start letting go of some things. But just remember the things that are just triggering memories usually. It's not the thing itself that's as important. So sometimes a photo will do. So as you let go of things or as you think that you're ready to, sometimes taking a photo helps you let go of the item itself. Good story. Thank you, Nancy. Someone says, you've helped me let things go. I do have issues with items, thinking they are the memory, but it is not. This year's Christmas cards, I offered to my daughter to look through and see if she wants to put it on her picture wall, and then told her to toss the others. That's fantastic. Yes, it takes time. It's practice, right? It's all about practicing. And the more you let go and see that you can still have those memories and a full life and all of that joy, the easier it'll get. That's fantastic. Oh, Lori says, I remember Ruth from when I first started joining my online sessions. Oh, yay. Yes, Ruth is wonderful. I love her. She's off doing cool Ruth things too. So very good stuff. Oh, wow. Somebody says, I have my Pyrex in its original box. This is one item in interest in selling. Collectors, how do you find them? Weeble Wobbles, Beanie Babies, and things like that. I won't go into how to find collectors and all of that too much right now. I think later on this year, I'll probably have the how to buy, sell, and how to sell and donate in different places, how to figure those out. But in general, you can look through Facebook, find Facebook groups. eBay can sometimes be a good place. Check out just any local groups that might enjoy collecting various things and start asking in those areas, and they can probably direct you to the best places because each type of item kind of has its own thing. Cindy says, I recently realized some articles of clothing aren't selling, so I'll donate them. Beautiful. It's great to try it for like a quick sell. And then if it doesn't sell, let it go, because otherwise it just becomes a stress, right? Lori says, can we get the past live session questions? The questions on that download are going to be from the past live sessions. So they're going to be the same. So that's how you would get them. And you can always find all the past live session recordings in the YouTube channel. Someone says maybe the sugar bowl can be repurposed for Nancy. Jewelry holder or memory holder, something else. Help me with this thought process. Yes. So sometimes if it's something where you do have a need for a holder or something like that, I do this all the time, then it's great to repurpose items. For example, my pen cup in the kitchen until a couple days ago when my husband accidentally broke it. It was the little vase from, I think, the first bouquet of flowers that he ever gave me. So that was something where I just really enjoyed seeing it. It reminded me of when we were dating, and it was a great pen cup. It was not the end of the world when it broke. I still remember it. I have the picture of the flowers. So it is still just an item, but it is nice to repurpose things if you can, and if it does not add to the clutter. Absolutely. So I've repurposed things all the time. Cheryl says, is starting a memory scrapbook with my photos of things I let go of. Yes. Yes. And I have like a digital photo album on my Google Photos. I save all of the pictures there. So every once in a while I can scroll through and just go down memory lane. Awesome. Yeah, Lori, I have the elephant cookie jar my mom used with us growing up. I never used it in my own house, so I should take a picture and let go of it. Yes. And somebody else is going to love, love, love having that. And you'll have the picture of it, which will be so helpful. Maria says, I love my Weeble Wobbles. I remember Weeble Wobbles. Hi, Denise. Good to see you. Welcome. Yes, someone says, thank you. Every time I listen to one of these podcasts, I get renewed energy and insight to tackle another closet. That is awesome. That is amazing. All right. So far we talked about, do I feel good using or wearing this? If you don't feel good using or wearing it, it might be time for it to go. How could this benefit someone else? Maybe someone else could use it more. You're not really using it that much. Is this truly a special item? And that kind of goes along with, do I need the item or just the memory? Now, the next question is a quick one, but it's an important one because we can forget this one often. Is this my decision to make? So when we go on these declutter sprees, sometimes it can be tempting to sneak out of partner or loved ones' things as well as our own. And I would encourage you not to do that. Make sure that you only make decisions and let go of things that are truly your decision to make. If it's a joint decision, what I like to do is I will set aside a pile of things to ask. So, whenever I'm letting go of stuff that Moose Pie should also be in on that decision, I'll set it aside. And usually, a lot of times I ask him when he's in the right mood, so he won't try to pull anything back out. But usually I can say, hey, is there anything here that you really need? I'm going to let it go of it. We have extras. We have everything. And then let him also say yes. And I never try to sneak anything of his or Kayla's out of the house without them knowing, even though it's very tempting sometimes. The reason for this is if you have somebody who has trouble letting go of things, then a lot of times if they feel like those decisions are being made for them and they don't trust that their items are safe, they're going to hold on to things even more. So if you do let go of things without them knowing and they find out, then that trust is broken and they are going to hold on to things even more desperately than they normally would. By making sure that you only make your own decisions and never do anything with somebody else's stuff that's not your decision to make, then you can take away that one barrier of theirs to letting go and free them up to choose themselves to keep it or let it go. Now, this works both ways. When I was a professional organizer one-on-one in people's homes, which I was for, 10 or 15 years, I can't even do the math now. When I was working one-on-one with people, A lot of times they felt like having a professional organizer come in meant that I was going to tell them to let go of things and tell them what to let go of, which I would never do. Those are not my decisions to make. I would suggest things. I would give them the reason behind, the thought process behind why something might not be needed. But I would always make sure that they knew that they could keep absolutely everything, not let go of a single thing. It's their choice. And by doing that, as soon as I gave them the freedom and the choice to not let go of anything, that's when they opened up and they would let go of more, because they did not have to fight any resistance from me. They did not have to justify anything. Then it was purely their decision. So, is it my decision to make? Give yourself uh, full ability to keep as much as you want or let go of it, and never make that decision for somebody else. Let them make their own decisions. So that is kind of a two-sided question for your declutter questions, but it's a really useful one. Let's see. So in the comments, Cheryl, is it worth the time to sell things given what you get for them? That's different for everyone. It depends. Think about how much time and effort it's going to take and how much you can get. And I wrote a whole love letter email about that one. If it's not worth it to you, then don't do it. Just donate it. Yeah. Darlene says, I guess it should be a pile of things to ask. Do it together. As far as, is it your decision to make? I keep putting a pile on the kitchen table for him to review, but he's not. So I guess I have to ask him. Yep. Usually, and just find an appropriate time to ask. A lot of times, when they don't feel pressured and they don't feel like it's going to be a chore. And it can be a, hey, it's up to you if you even want to look at these things. If you don't even want to look at them and you give me authorization to just donate, that's fine too. And that's okay. Then it's still their choice. Oh, you're so welcome. Lavette says, great questions and ideas. Jane says, I always ask my children on certain items if they want them. Otherwise, I just make the decision myself. I've sold a lot of items, found people that can use some, and donated some. That's fantastic. Yes, and it is a choice for them. If they choose not to review the items, that's okay too. You can say, I have a box. If you're not interested in looking at it, I'll just donate it. But if you do want to see it, then, check it out by this date or when you come over next time, and then you can review it. Yeah. Someone says, I'm on a fixed budget with very little cushion. It will not be increased in my lifetime, nor can I earn more. How do I declutter if I will not have money to replace anything when it gets worn out? Clothes, etc., need to last me for the rest of my life, probably 30 more years. And that could be a tough one. So there are some options. When you're decluttering, be realistic about what you will use within that time. There are some things you probably have, decorations and like excessive amounts of things. Maybe you have 20 knives and really you probably won't go through 20 knives realistically in that time. Really be realistic about what you will and will not use. First off. Second, sometimes instead of donating, sell it. Sell clothes at a consignment shop and see if you can get money that way, or have a garage sale or hop on to somebody else's garage sale or sell things online, whatever works for you. Because that money, if you set it aside, then it can help you out in the future. Because in the future, say you need a new pair of pants, it's worn out, but maybe at that point you're a different size. So what you currently have right now is just deteriorating. It's falling apart, wearing out on its own just from, environmental influences. So instead of having it deteriorating in your closet, if you can sell it, save the money, and then later you can find a resale store maybe that has some really good prices, and then it will be whatever size you are at the time, because our sizes do fluctuate, especially as we age. So that is one way to look at it. You can look at it as, how can I make some money? And then you can squirrel away that money. So that way, if you need to replace things in the future, you have the money to do it. And there are usually some pretty easy ways to find cheap or free items in the future. You can also try some of those buy nothing groups, things like that can help you find things in the future too. So those are just a couple ways, but I do understand there are some things that we would need to save, and just don't save them in your general house area. Maybe have some storage areas somewhere in your house so they're not cluttering things up. but they are safe and can be pulled out when they're needed. Someone asked, so you don't help people one-on-one in their home anymore? No, I don't. I only do online. I sell the Spark Life Binder. I have the Paper Path course and the Path membership where I help people with papers. I sell the small step cards and I do webinars. It's all teaching online now and supporting people that way. You're so welcome. And if your clothes have elastic, Teresa says that elastic can deteriorate even with wear. Let someone else get the joy from it. Yes, absolutely. There's some things, the longer you keep them, the more they fall apart, which actually leads us, is it the next question? Yes, that is absolutely perfect timing because the last question is this item fulfilling its purpose or just deteriorating? Because there are times where we keep things, we're afraid that we'll need it in the future, or maybe we absolutely love something and we buy multiples of it. But before its usefulness expires, we might not get around to using it. So, for example, if you have some pants with an elastic waistband and you have several pairs of them, maybe 6 pairs of them, and you're thinking, I'll save some for the future. And well, when the future gets there, elastic does start to get crinkly and dry up over time. So, if you save it too long, it might not be useful at that point. This works for baby clothes. If you're keeping your kids' baby clothes for their kids, well, if it's not properly preserved, it's probably just going to be deteriorating, and then nobody can use the baby clothes. By the time you open that box again, then they're too yellowed and stained and musty, and the kids would not want to put their babies in them, and no other babies can wear them. So think about whether the item is actually being useful right now or will be useful in the near future before it gets to the point where it does start to deteriorate. Things deteriorate from dust getting on them, from heat, from cold, from light. So even something as simple as, a juicer or a coffee grinder, if it's just sitting in storage and not being used, then over time that plastic is going to get more brittle and it's going to get yellowed. And then it can get to the point where it's not useful for anybody. So think about if it's fulfilling its purpose. We get the items for a reason, to bring us joy or to fulfill a need. And if you are not using it for its purpose, then it's just deteriorating and nobody's going to be able to use it in the future if it deteriorates too much. So that is the final question for our charity and love questions. All right, so let's recap really quickly. Question number 1, do I feel good using or wearing this? If you don't feel good using it or wearing it, then time to let it go. And remember, let me know right now in the comments which of these questions you liked the best, that resonate the most with you. I would love to hear that. Number 2, how could this benefit someone else? Maybe somebody else could use it more than you're using it. Number 3, is this truly a special item? Sometimes we keep things and we think they're special, but they're truly not all that special to us when we really analyze it. Which goes along with number 4, do I need the item or just the memory? There are so many times where we keep items just because they spark a memory, but it's not the item itself that's important. It's just the fact that it brings up that memory. So sometimes a picture of the item, especially anything that's going to be in like a memorabilia box where you're not going to see it, you're more likely to scroll through a digital photo album of those memories than you are to open that memorabilia box. Is this my decision to make? Don't make decisions for other people and go behind their back and let things go, but also give yourself permission not to let go of things. And that way it will also open you up to being open to letting go of more. And then finally, is this item fulfilling its purpose or is it just deteriorating? Things fall apart over time. And if we're not going to use them, then by the time we get around to it, it might be too late and nobody can use it. So those were our charity and love decision-making questions. This was part 4 of the series. So if you've not seen parts 1, 2, and 3, head over to the YouTube channel. Also, by noon, which is in about 20 minutes, a little bit less, then the Thursday Talk download link will have these downloadable cards that you can cut out with the questions on them. So that's a free download for you. Head on over there. Give me about 5 to 10 minutes after this live ends, and I will make sure that that is updated. And then finally, make sure to grab your small step cards. The pre-orders just started today. this morning. So check your email if you did not get an email about them. But these small step cards, I will tell you more about them in a little bit, but they are basically just little small steps you can take every day, 100 cards, and you get the bonus home maintenance checklist and tracking pack. This whole downloadable pack with all sorts of checklists for your home maintenance and deep cleaning and vehicle records and all that stuff. So check that out. The link is in the description. Let me see what other people have said in the chat. All right. Someone says, Darlene, I've noticed that focuses and needs change over time. If it's not needed, then let it go. It's true. It is so true. We don't know what the future is going to hold. We don't know what we're going to need in the future. So it's probably best to, get some money for it now and then find some inexpensive or free resources for the future to get what we need. Janice says, I tried to download the link and got a message there isn't a download, so I wanted to verify. Yeah, by noon. So in about 15 minutes, it will be up and it'll be linked. Sorry about that. Maggie says that, the greeting card clutter. Yes, that's the big one for her. I love that. And Lori's looking forward to yard sale time when the weather gets warmer. She's got, she used to have a bunch of yard sales each year. That's awesome. Someone says, all the questions are needed for me to move through the clutter. So yay, all the questions were helpful. I love that. Jane says, I'm liking question number 4. I lost a husband and a mom, and the items don't get used. I need to find these things in new home. Yes, taking photos of them is really helpful. And yeah, it's like an onion. So let go of what you can. Don't push yourself too hard. But when you're ready, it's great to let things go and take photos of them. And you'll be ready for different things as you go through the process too. Suzanne says that these questions are the best ones for her. Yes, sometimes the emotional ones are the best ones if we get stuck with that emotional stuff. Someone says, I had a book on friends given to me by a 90-year-old friend years ago. She wrote that I was her rose friend. I took a picture of that page and gave it to another friend. Thanks. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, I love that. Darlene, the one that resonates with me is it the item or the memory? Yes, we can fall into that trap so easily, right? The last question pertains the most. Is it deteriorating or is it fulfilling its purpose? Number 5, it's a challenge. Yeah. Arlene, I'm not going into the best places to sell stuff during this, but I will have a webinar on that later this year. Hopefully that helps. Lavette says, do I need the item or just the memory was the question that resonated the most with me. I'll follow the recommendations and should be able to get rid of quite a bit. Yeah. And that's one that the more you practice it, the easier it gets. Thank goodness. But it is one of those things that takes a lot of practice and you just have to dip your toe in and take the leap and see that it turns out okay. Darlene says the small step cards, maybe make it a game, put them in something and pick it out and do it, or are they in order? They're not in a specific order. So that's a good question. And it is like a game. There's a technique with ADHD called gamification. And whenever you can turn a process into something that's more like a game, then you are more likely, especially with ADHD, but anybody, to be able to do it more consistently. And it builds this mental, it basically gives you a dopamine rush in your brain, which builds these positive reinforcing feelings of success. So the more you do them over and over, the more you will want to do them and the easier it will get to declutter. So if you're doing these little declutter tasks over and over, you're getting those little dopamine hits in your brain, the neurotransmitters, and they're making you happy and feel successful and you feel like it's fun. And then you want to do more. And it kind of snowballs into making decluttering something that you think of as being a whole lot more fun. And it becomes like a game. So creating these little steps in a card form, just like I do with the challenges, we do our declutter challenge, which is going on right now in the home organizing challenges group. These challenges and these cards are a way to turn it into a game, to make it fun and to make it easier to complete. So when you grab the small step cards, they aren't in a particular order. You can grab one random one each day or whenever you have a moment. Read the card, do the step that it says on it. This one, I pulled again, find 5 things in your pantry you won't really use before they expire. We all have those. So grab that, do the little task really quickly, and then celebrate yourself, and then you can feel like you've succeeded for the day. So there are 100 cards with the small step cards. So it's a whole deck of 100 different tiny little steps you can take in your home to declutter. And yes, it absolutely becomes a game. And the description has a link to buy them, to pre-order them. And the pre-order is only available until the 17th with the bonus home maintenance checklist pack, which is a bunch of pages of checklists to keep your home, the deep cleaning and home maintenance and vehicle service schedule and who your service people are, and keep all of that together. So that bonus is only available until the 17th or until we run out of supplies. So once I've sold all of our first 500, then no more of the bonus with it, and I'll have to reorder. Lori, in the description is where the links are. So read through the text in the description, and that will be right where you can find them. Faith, examples of special items was the most helpful. All the questions were helpful as I cultivate the art of decluttering. I love that, the art of decluttering. Joanne says, I purchased the cards. Yay. Please tell me again where to download the housekeeping lists. They have been emailed to you. So check your email. And if you don't see the email confirmation with the downloadable lists in your email inbox or your spam folder, then shoot me an email. Shoot me an email at hello@suzannakaye.com, and we can make sure to figure out why you didn't get that one. Sue says, question number 4. The memory is what I treasure, but I've always had difficulty letting go of the item. Looking forward to the small step cards. Oh, awesome. Yes. And having the digital album of the memories is so nice because you can then view those memories anytime without having to find the item or look through a box or any of that. Someone says, is there a secondary market for old greeting cards? Say about 40 or 50 years, just the fronts. I'm not sure. I'm definitely not sure about that one. I do know that a lot of times crafters and teachers will use old greeting card fronts to make projects, but I don't know about vintage ones. That might be something to ask around. Faith says it's difficult to differentiate between do I need the item or just the memory? Though a challenge, I'm sure it will get me moving forward. Yes, and you can think about when you're trying to decide if you need the memory or the item, you can think, okay, well, if I had a photo of this and I did not have the item itself, what would happen? When I was flipping through the photo album, would I miss being able to use that item? And would I mourn not having the item? Or would I just see it and think of the memory? So the example of my quote card or my coaster, if I'm flipping through that digital album, then when I see the quote card, I'd be like, oh yeah, I remember that with Rochelle. I had so much fun. And that's the thought that would come up. If I was flipping through the album and I saw the coaster and I'd let go of the coasters, I'd be like, oh, I miss that coaster. It was so great to use. And it was nice on my desk. And I remember that Ruth gave it to me. Those are the two different thought processes that might come up. So if you would miss the item itself when you're flipping through the photos, then that's something where the item is also important to you. But if you're flipping through and your first thought is the memory and getting excited about that memory, then it's probably a sign that it's not the item itself. It's probably just the memory. Karen says, question number 5, I only make decisions on my own things. My son is a minimalist for sure. That's a good thing. Lori, she says to Jill, some senior citizen centers or living places use old greeting cards to make other cards that they sell in their gift shops. Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Somebody else says to try Etsy. They could be used in jewelry and art projects. Yeah, if you could resell on Etsy or something. Yeah, Faith says, most helpful differentiation to forward my being able to release. Good. Darlene says, I like the comment about the scrapbooking or digital photo album of all the items that I let go of. It is so nice to have an album, a photo album. I like the digital one because you can just be on the couch, and scrolling through your digital photos. And you can be seeing all those memories. And it's just a great way to be able to see them. Because when we have our memories in memory boxes, we rarely pull those boxes out. So I keep very few things in a memorabilia box. Most of my memorabilia is actually photos within a photo album that I can either scan through, or sometimes I'll even put them on a digital photo frame. I'll set my digital photo frame to show those. And then that way those memories are front and center instead of in a box where I don't get to see them. So hopefully that helps. All right. Well, this wraps it up. I have to go attach the card download to that link for you so you can get that link. If you are a Path member, remember at noon, I'm going to be live over in your Paper Path Facebook private group. So join me in about 9 minutes over there, and I will see you there. And also, just a reminder for the small step cards. Next Thursday, by the time we are done with next Thursday's talk, then the bonus, you will not be able to get the bonus home maintenance checklist pack when you pre-order your small step cards. And just as a reminder, the small step cards are 100 cards. You get the whole card deck in a nice little box. You can pick out a card a day or a card when you have time, and they're going to give you little tiny steps that you can take throughout your home. So 5 things that are out of place, or 3 medications that are expired or you no longer need, or things that you never wear, aren't your size, all those types of things. Grab 2 reusable bags you don't need anymore. So all you need to do is each day, whatever time works for you, pick a card, read the card, and do the little task, and they go super, super fast. These are meant to be really quick, and it's going to change your mindset. If you do this every day, then over time, you'll start seeing more and more things around your home that you don't need, or you might go to get the 3 medications that are expired. And if you have time, once you get moving, you'll find that, oh, well, I'm enjoying this. So you go through a bunch of the medications and you let go of even more. And it's super fun. These cards can get you moving and get you going. So grab those. They're pre-order, so they will ship in March. They're shipping only to the US right now. There's only 500 available. Well, less than that now because people have purchased them already. But so through the end of the day, the 17th, you can pre-order or until we're out of supplies. And through the 17th, when you pre-order, you will get the home maintenance checklist bundle. It's an instant download. You'll get it right away. With this checklist bundle, you get, let's see, there's the home maintenance checklist, and this lists all of the different things that you need to do around your home to keep it in tip-top shape monthly, quarterly, biannually, annually. Then you have your monthly deep clean checklist by room, and that goes into like every room. There's several pages that help you. You can break down your deep cleaning into small steps, check off things, and there's quarterly deep cleaning, and let's see, annual deep clean, all these different things. Like annually, you want to at least annually shampoo all the mats and rugs, remove items from cabinets and drawers to wipe the shelves and bottoms, things like that. And then let's see. Then you got a supply list, cleaning supply list of all the different general supplies that you would use for your deep cleaning and your regular cleaning. And then you have a regular cleaning checklist. You've got daily and weekly, and the supplies for daily and weekly. Contact service provider contact sheet, so you can keep track of all of your plumbers and electricians and all of that. You have your home inventory checklist, so the essential items in your home. You can make sure that you have an inventory of them if anything were to happen. And this goes really well if you have the Spark Life Binder. This can go in that resources section of your Spark Life Binder, so you always have it available. And then there's the vehicle service schedule, so it tells you what service is needed and at what time, and you can mark down when it was done. So that is our massive home maintenance checklist, and it's only available right now as the bonus. Eventually it will be available for sale. But when you pre-order your small step cards before the end of the day, Thursday, or before supplies run out, then you will get for free the download of this checklist, which, like I mentioned, will eventually be for sale. All right. Let's see. Lori says she's grabbing the small step cards right now. That's awesome. I've already had a bunch of people who've grabbed them and they're so excited. I love it. Lori says, small step cards sound great. I think they would be a great Mother's Day gifts to close friends and family to encourage them. Oh yeah, we have so many people ordering a bunch of them for gifts, and that's one of the gifts I'm giving too. I love it. Someone asks, does the checklist go over maintenance on heating and cooling systems and that type of stuff? It does, basically. It will tell you the different times of the year that you need to do, your HVAC and chimney flues and things like that. So it's listed on there. Catherine asks, how do you just get the maintenance list pack? Right now, I don't have it listed for sale, but I will eventually be selling those online. I just don't have those up right now. And yeah, Lori says the home maintenance checklist sounds invaluable. Oh, it is. I don't know how I would remember to do most of those things without it. It is so, so good. So I'm super excited about that bonus. The bonus on its own is worth the price of the cards, but you get both. So I love that. All right. Well, thank you all so much for being absolutely amazing. Keep it up. You've got this. I absolutely promise that you've got this. You're amazing and I love you. And I will see you next week. Next week, Thursday, same time, 11 a.m. Eastern, at the same link. I'll see you there for part 5 of our Declutter series. Have a fantastic day. Order the small step cards while you can still get that bonus, and I will see you later. Bye now.